Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special session. If I were to call this my story, it wouldn't work. It's going to become our story. But then if I say it's our story, it's a lot more than that. Because I have with me here today two very special souls. They're very dear friends, members of my beloved MNI family, Elizabeth and Sanela. A very, very warm welcome to both of you to this special episode. I may call it episodes, depending on what's going to roll out, because we have exciting stuff happening in MNI. There's news and more news and some even better news. So I have both my dear friends with me to share the behind the scenes story of something that's been cooking in the back burner. And I mean cooking. And they'll tell you, these two beautiful souls are going to tell you what's cooking. We're going to discuss about MNI Publishing. Yes, we are publishing our very own books. And both my friends are going to share about a special book that's coming out very, very soon. Sanela and Elizabeth, a very, very warm welcome. And thank you so much for the time, for your energy, for the love that's flowing my way. I can feel it. So, girls, come
Yay.
on, tell me, give me all the news.
Thank you, Indrani, for
Pleasure.
your warm welcome. It's great to be here. Um, this meeting signifies the end of a long process, of birthing process, of a very special project, which Elizabeth and I worked for almost a year. Um, So we are really pleased and honored to present our Finding Purpose first MNI publishing book.
Congratulations. Because, oh my God, look at that. That's wonderful. How does it feel to hold it in your hand?
Amazing. It's here.
It's
We can really believe it's out there, and it makes it really real after months and months and hours of working on the manuscript and organizing the flow. Elizabeth can tell you more as well. Um, it really feels amazing to have this in my hands.
So I'm going to rewind a bit to get to the beginning. So, what brought about the birth of the book, and before that, birth of MNI Publishing that's enabling this book to come through? Elizabeth, any idea? Sanela, ladies, tell me.
Yeah.
Well, Sanela,
Hmm.
I think Sanela has a better background because she's been on the advisory council and she was inspired to perhaps create some books for MNI as part of the outreach. So I'll let her tell you more about that.
Thank you. So, yes, thank you, Elizabeth. Well, we were thinking about starting our own publishing.
Yes.
There were two projects in mind. This was last year, 2023. We started our new research project
Mhm.
about the evolution of consciousness of humanity,
Mhm.
which was very well received by our members. And we
Mhm.
had many members exchange sessions and
Yes.
write to the research, write up all the answers they received from the spirit world.
Mhm.
Second one, that was like an easier, let's say, project was to reunite stories that have been published in the Stories of the Afterlife online quarterly journal and bring them under the theme of finding purpose. Well, it all actually started long before when I was in the originally research team. with the former director of research, now late Pat O'Malley. Wonderful, wonderful person and soul. And there was a project where we were going to use some SOTA stories to do research. So I organized all the SOTA stories ever published until that date in an Excel sheet with all the keywords. We were working really, and Ilse was also part of that. So we were searching for keywords that we can use later in the research. So based on that, we already had a very nice database of stories. So when this project started, it was really easy to locate those stories based on keywords and then put them together. And that's when Elizabeth can share how it was also for her and how many stories we were reading in the beginning and changing the chapters and flow because we wanted to have a really beautiful flow.
Wow.
Yes.
Elizabeth, tell me
It was
about the flow. I would love to know because there's so many of us who have been featured, and I speak very humbly that to be included in any project, and that to the very first one, it's just going to go down in one's heart space as something so special because it's an honor. You know, this is an
Mhm.
institute. We don't consider it just an institute, it's a family for us, right? So,
Yes.
to know that
Yes,
that's
it
it
really
is.
is an honor. I just want to mention I was editing Soda, Stories of the Afterlife, for about 2.5 years,
I remember.
and I really enjoyed it. It just, my life became too busy and I couldn't continue.
Mm.
So, reading stories, all the stories that Sanela had cataloged, was really inspiring.
Mhm.
There were obviously some that I hadn't read, uh, and fitting those into different categories with the research she had accomplished with keywords. That was a lot of fun, and also uh, kind of figuring out where the stories would sort of fit together. Because although most stories have quite a few themes, they don't always flow together. So we worked on, creating the chapters, which had themes like relationships, advanced beings,
Mhm.
those sorts of themes that were kind of a predominant theme in each story. So we wove those together because we felt like they fit together and they'd flow together. And of course, there were changes along the way where we had to eliminate different stories for various reasons. Uh, Sometimes because someone would want to write their own book using their own stories, and for other reasons too, such as people not being members any longer, or as in the case of Pat Pears O'Malley passing to the great beyond. There were a lot of changes and modifications as we moved along.
Mm.
So it was a pretty flexible process, and Sanela was wonderful to work with. So organized and
Yes.
yes, yes, she helped
I
keep
can
me on
definitely
track.
vouch for that. She's very, very, and
Yeah,
one of the most supportive, uh, you know, member that and I say this hands on heart, every time I've needed something, it was just a question of messaging, and she'll be the first one to jump right in and help you. So that's a
for
big
sure.
question that comes to me. This is such a huge project, and you both spearheaded everything. What about the team? Did you have a team supporting you, or was it just the two of you?
Yeah, we had, it was the two of us in the beginning, then we had a couple of people joining, but due to life circumstances, they couldn't continue. So we were together all this time. I mean, I think I don't remember last time when I had so many emails to anyone on one particular project. And we did WhatsApp, emails, calls, Zooms. It was, yeah, I loved our meetings. So along further down the road, just at the very end of the execution of the project, we got help from Jeff, and also who edited the manuscript, suggested some edits, and also from Pete. Pete played a key role just at the end of the wrapping up and bringing it to life and designing cover and interior and finding, someone who can help us with that. So it was really a two of us, and at the end we got a final push, and I said, "Thank you, universe, for this," because yeah, it was we were very busy in our private lives, so I really appreciated that help.
And I think what's so commendable is whatever we do, especially for the Institute, is it's something that we do from our heart. We're all volunteers, and the extra time, and I'm quite sure as I'm listening to the two of you, the amount of time you both must have given. And I think that's the biggest gift we give when there's sincere time given to anything that we've set our heart, into. So, uh, what was coming to me when you were speaking about the flow is when you all thought of the themes or the way the book should come through or the way you would position a story after another story, were you doing what? Were you channeling spirit? Were you being guided through meditation? Or were you guys just brainstorming and saying, okay, we're going to do tic-tac-toe and pick up the stories one after another? How did you do this? I mean, was there the big theme and then you fleshed it out?
I felt like there was a type of guidance involved. It wasn't all analytical. There was the flow that I speak of. It seems as though the two of us would kind of spontaneously have ideas. Sanela really created the backbone,
Mhm.
and yet we worked a lot back and forth with, what do you think about this name for the chapter? What about that name for a chapter? And who fits in? And it was very much almost a super conscious effort in a way, um, the way things flowed and the way I felt we were guided. I felt like Michael was guiding us a couple of times, and Sanela said the same thing. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Especially when there would be some stories that we needed to take out for whatever reason. Then
Yeah.
the flow, we needed to reconsider and change some stories in on to other chapters.
Mhm.
And that was really like that final version was like, this is it. I mean, this all happened so that everything would be perfect, as it should be. So, I mean, changes happen. The life is full of changes.
So true.
How
For
we
sure.
how we see it, how we accept it, how we deal with it, really determines the outcome. And sometimes the outcome is perfect. You
Hmm.
know,
Trust the process, right?
Trust the
Trust the
process,
process.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm curious to
So
know uh, why finding purpose was who chose this name?
I think it was me.
hmm.
The first theme was about purpose. Finding purpose covers purpose of life, purpose of existence, purpose of relationships, purpose of grief, purpose of many things. So
Yes.
basically, sub themes and chapters describe in by itself the purpose of different aspects of life.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And what about the cover design, the picture? It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful.
This was with the help of Rose. She really helped design this, and we chose this one as I want to show it to you now. And I want you to pay attention to the letters. You can see the universe and stars through the letters. So it is really something. It's like a
So
veil
beautiful.
Really.
to the afterlife. And I think it really describes this book. It describes what the people will see, will read in this book.
Right. The water
Water.
always symbolizes spirit
Yes.
for me.
Yes.
So it's just a beautiful
Yes.
illustration of the soul in a boat amidst, spirit and finding purpose, finding your way. Yeah.
Because finding is something that's continued action. It's ongoing action. And it's not that we will find and that's it. We are continuously
Keep finding.
finding, looking, and that, yeah. So that's the
One of the most common questions or intentions when clients come to me is, what is my purpose for being
Purpose.
here?
Yes. Yes.
So she chose a wonderful title. I really think it's very
Lovely.
meaningful for everyone.
And I think it's a kind of title which attracts a new reader, because
Mhm.
as you know, most viewers, you may be knowing that we do have this newsletter which is called Stories of the Afterlife, and you know, these stories are from there. And when we think about those stories, it makes a person, someone who has probably never read Michael's books or has no idea, this is a beautiful gateway, if I may say so, to a very fascinating journey that's beyond. So it's a door opener for so many people who don't know what life between lives or the afterlife or beyond the veil or across the bridge is all about. So a book like this is
Right.
literally a door opener.